Hi, fellow traders. Man, it's Friday, the end of the week. It's time to get a drink. So I'm sitting here. I've got my glass of Basil Hayden, inviting you to have a drink with me. I definitely need one after the morning I had. It was a roller coaster ride, to say the least. But I'll tell you all about it. There was some good lessons in there. You know, go over all of that here in a minute. But I want to reiterate something that I've said over and over and over again, that you learn more from a loss than a win. Okay, you do learn from a win. You learn so that you can reinforce the things that you did right. But when you're losing, or when you take a loss, that's where real learning and true learning takes place. So don't let a loss stop you. Don't let it get you down. Don't let a series of losses get you down. It's just a matter of figuring out what's going on. Everybody that I talk to that's having trouble, that's taking multiple losses, there's something simple that you just overlooked. And once we figure it out, you're on your way. So don't let a loss stop you, or a series of losses. Do your work. Do your homework. Do your journaling. Do your reflection. And once you start putting all these things together, you will start to see just how easy it is to pinpoint your mistakes. You'll be able to see it. It'll be right there, clear as day. And you'll be able to clean it up and continue to move forward. So don't let it stop you. It actually builds character. So if you look at it the right way and you respond to it the right way, then it's going to help continue to build your character and help you become a better trader. All right, so let's look at my roller coaster here. VMW, this was an opening range breakdown trade, and we had several to choose from. Of course, I choose the one that doesn't work like this. Roku did really good. I can't remember. HPQ did pretty good. There was a couple of stocks that made pretty good breakouts. But, of course, the one I chose was going to fight me before it actually got to the target I had set for it. But that wasn't the case. I mean, that wasn't all. As soon as I got in the trade, maybe a couple minutes into it, all of my screens went blank. All 6 of my monitors went black. Now, the guys in the room said they could still see my live stream, but I couldn't see anything. It was all black. And I couldn't understand it. Now, earlier, my Thinkorswim charts froze. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And come to find out, Windows started running an update. Now, I have it set to where Windows will not run an update unless I say you can run an update. But evidently, they got pissed at me and got tired of waiting, and they decided to do it anyway. Is the only thing I could think of, because I didn't activate it, and I never saw the screen, so I couldn't accidentally start the update. But I was not worried that this was going to get away from me. I didn't have a stop in place, because for me, I do not put a hard stop in on the first candle. I wait for the second candle, and then I'll put the hard stop in. Here, I don't like the market volatility having a chance to run up and hit my stop and come back real quick before the move starts to happen. So I never did have a hard stop in, but I felt pretty good, because I felt, well, even if it bounced, here we've got the VWAP here, and that should hold it, or slow it down, keep it from going too far away. And that wasn't the case. It went through it, and the whole time I'm not even concerned about it. I just let the computer update, had to restart it, and then log in, and I get slapped in the face with this sitting right here on the 20. And what happens now? I could have easily panicked out. I could have easily looked and said, oh shit, and just taken it off. But through experience, I know the smartest thing to do is take a step back, look at the big picture. Okay, now your stop is blown. So now I'm looking at the trade as, okay, if I was getting in the trade, is there a setup right now that I would get into? And where would that stop be? Where would the technical level be that would tell me that this trade is not going to work? So I took a step back and I said, okay, look, here's this level here. It's tried to get through it, but the moving average just kind of held it here. But here, it couldn't go over it. And here we tried to push, and we're just not getting anywhere. And then this candle opened and it started to sell. And so I said, okay, a break of this high is probably going to take me out. But then we've got the 50 coming in hard. So if we breach the 50, then technically this trade is dead. Now, at this point, risk reward is out of the window. It's already blown up. All I can do is try to manage it to where it doesn't blow up anymore. And maybe I can get some of the negative back. So I waited. And I clicked. I mean, clearly you can see this was still in a downtrend. It was not in an uptrend. It did not even threaten to start an uptrend. So I had no problem holding on to this and waiting for it to come back. Once it broke my stop, the damage was done. Nothing you can do about it. Let's let this thing do what it's going to do. Even here, this gave me some pause at first. But as I just kept watching this, I'm like, this thing has no push. And still the 50 is coming down. That's my guide. And it never did break over it. Came down and hit my first target, which was halfway between where I entered and my final target. And I got it. And then again, in the average Joe trader fashion, if I'm in it, it's just not going to work the way you want it to. You're not going to get the full move before it goes back and stops you out. So I take profit here. And for some reason, every time I take profit, I seem to trigger enough buying that it goes up and takes me out. And it took me back out at break even. So I did lock in some, got $119.72. But like I said, the risk reward was just gone. And I refused to get back in this trade. Even though it was setting up again, I refused to get back in this trade. And I just walked away from trading for that day. I mean, that was it. 119.72 is better than a negative $900, negative $1,000. So I'll take it. But the lesson here, and this has happened to me a handful of times over the last 2.5 years. And each time, I think maybe once I panicked out. But other than that, I've always taken a step back, reassessed the situation, and said, okay, let's get it right. So how can you do that? Mentally, how can you detach from what's going on? Okay, for me, it's really simple. I don't know if you guys have ever bought a lottery ticket. It's like, what's the chances of you winning the lottery? So basically, when you give them your $10 or whatever, it's pretty much, you throwing it in the trash, because they're giving you a seemingly worthless piece of paper for whatever your cash is. Now, if you go to the carnival and you play those games that they have, the games are rigged against you. There's not a good chance of you winning, or if you do, has a good chance of you winning a little, but it'll never be to where you win enough to where it was worth what you paid to play. So you got to have that same mentality. So when you put your money in a trade and you say, okay, I'm going to risk $300. So as soon as you get in the trade, just say goodbye to the $300. Detach it. It's gone. No, poof. It's gone. So now all that's left is you and the trade. That's all that's left. And so all you need to focus on, the money's already gone. It's gone. Focus on hitting your marks. Focus on managing your trade plan. And if you do that, you have a really, really good chance of being successful in that trade. Either holding it to your stop hits or letting your profit target hits. Taking trades off because it's starting to go against you and it hasn't even taken out the technicals or anything, and then taking trades off when you see a couple of dollars, you will never get out your own way. You'll never make any money that way. So you have to detach yourself from your money and just think, hey, it's like you put it in a slot machine. It's gone. There's a small chance you're going to get your money back, but you're not thinking about it. It's gone. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, oh well, I've accepted that. And that's the mindset you've got to have when you put on a trade. Even though our strategy has given us the edge and we have a more than not chance of winning than losing, so we don't have to worry about having a bad result. If we do it consistently and we do it right, we're going to win more times than we lose. And if we're holding the trades, taking profit like we're supposed to, letting the trades work, and not shortcutting it, at the end of the month, we're going to have money. How many times have you seen me lose? But at the end of the day, we've got some good trades and we made some money. So losing doesn't faze me. Like I said, once we get in the trade, that money's gone. So now you're just focusing on executing. And that's it. You execute, the trade works out, money's going to be there. Let's rinse and repeat. Let's go to the next one. So you guys understand on this one, I just didn't get back in because I was done. Okay, could have made some good money today. The market did just what we like to see it. This is the market environment that I thrive in. But having this one bad trade, hurt today. I'm just very fortunate to get out $119 to the good. All right, so we took off our swing trade. Here's where we entered on Monday. This was right off our watch list. The stock opened. It opened above the previous day's close. Whenever that happens, it triggers an entry. So right at the open is when I got in. You got to get in without reservation. You can't sit here and think, oh, maybe this thing will pull back some so that I can get a better entry. No. The strategy says, the trigger says, enter. When the setup triggers, you enter. And that's what we did on Monday. I was looking for it to come back up to at least 39.40, somewhere in there. Was going to take profit here at 35.50, but the market just wasn't there for us. And you know what happened today? Yesterday was just a kind of an exhaustion day, but with what was going on in the market today, who knows what's going to happen over the weekend. So I had to go ahead and lock it in, kill the trade, take the profit, and go to the house. Now, obviously, we wanted, I was looking for about $6,000 to $8,000 on this one, but this is what happens. It makes the move. It gives you it's not that it didn't work. This is decent profit. How many of you made $2,000 this week trading? Okay. Now, this is on one swing trade. So not bad. We could have taken it off up here. I think up here, if I'd have taken it off at 35, we'd have had over $3,000 yesterday, but it didn't hit the profit target for half. But not a bad swing trade. All right, so this is where we ended the week. Not as strong as it should have been. We just kind of limped in to the end of the week. It started out strong and then just never could get traction. Started every day in the hole. One day I think I started $500 or $600 in the hole and had to trade my way out of it. I think this was yesterday. We were down $500 or $600. Traded out. I think I was up over $150. And that's rough guessing. I wasn't looking at the P&L. I just added it at the end of the day, and then took another trade and ended up being red for the day. So all of that work getting back to green and having a couple of dollars in my pocket, one trade, trying to stretch the rubber band out a little bit too tight on, I think, Facebook, and it blew up on me. But every day this week practically started in the hole and had to fight my way out. But being consistent, doing the same thing every day, trading the same strategies, pays dividends. So for the week, 1357.39. For the month, we ended up 2601.31. And year to date, and this accounts from January 1st, 29,525.62. Now my goal was to be at $30,000 by the end of this month. I didn't meet the 25K by the end of the second quarter. I missed that by a couple of weeks. So I've had to modify what my monthly goals are. And 30K is where I want to be here at the end of this month. So, and when I say $30,000, I don't have that in my bank account. I think I've got right at 12,000 in my bank account that I can put into a traditional broker. Now, the goal was to start at 5, show you how to build this account, and make enough money so by the end of the year, we could start next year in a traditional broker. So you won't have to trade in SureTrader or CME Group or whatever. Even though these guys aren't bad, I don't know why the people that complain about these brokers are the people that can't trade worth a damn or really don't know what they're doing. Because if you know what you're doing, it's not the broker that's going to mess you up, it's you. So, SureTrader has their things, but if you know how to trade and you respect their rules, you can make money. I show it to you live and in color every day. So, that's no excuse. But the goal is to get to a traditional broker where you don't have to go through all of the mess to get your taxes done. You could download everything right there from the broker. You don't have to worry about your stuff being overseas. There's a lot of benefits to having a broker here in the U.S. Easier access to your money. There's a lot of a lot of benefits. But saying that you can't make money and you can't grow in a smaller or that type of broker, and saying you got to use a prop firm and all that's BS. Yeah, I think we've done a lot to prove it in the last 4 years. So, you got to pull taxes out. Going back to what I was saying, you got to pull taxes out. I take 10% out for savings. I take some out for my son's college savings and my daughter's college because she's still in school. So I pull money out of that, and then the bulk of it is what I'm saving so that I can show you at the end of the year we got money, we can open up a traditional account. It can be done. Not because I can do it, not because other people can do it, but because you can do it. And this is the equity curve. And here you can see this is where we started. Just a weekly total. Every week we added more to it. And this is how it's grown. We've had our setbacks. Had a pretty big setback here at the beginning of the summer. But we are on our way. We are on our way. So I hope you guys have a great, safe weekend. If you're coming in on Sunday to check out the market strategy session, swing trade watch list, we build that. And also we're going to be talking about the earnings, how to decipher the earnings email that I'm sending out, how to understand what the grade means and everything. So we're going to talk about that as well. So if you have any questions about the earnings email I'm sending out, make sure you be there Sunday. It starts at 9. We'll probably, maybe around 9:30, 9:45, we'll start getting into the earnings stuff. So if I don't see you Sunday, I'll see you guys back in the community on Monday morning.